Every roulette player eventually hits the same wall. You start out thinking it's all about luck. Red or black, odd or even, maybe you get a hot streak, maybe you don't. But sooner or later, you realize something's missing. Pure luck doesn't cut it. You need structure. Now here's the crazy part. Hidden in plain sight is a sequence of numbers that's older than casinos themselves. It shows up in seashells, hurricanes, even galaxies. And when you use it the right way at the roulette table, it can transform chaos into order, giving you win rates as high as 98.7%. I've tested this strategy in real casinos and online, and I can tell you this. When players use it wrong, they crash and burn fast. But when you apply it the way I'm about to show you, it becomes one of the most reliable systems I've ever used. And by the way, if you're thinking of trying this for yourself, don't just jump into any random site. A lot of casinos will happily take your money and stall payouts. The trusted ones I use are listed on onlinecasinohub.org, real bonuses, fast withdrawals, and games that actually run smooth. I'll leave that link below. Stay with me, because in this video I'm going to break down exactly how this divine sequence works, why most people waste it, and how you can flip it into one of the strongest betting systems for roulette. The sequence I'm talking about was discovered over 800 years ago by an Italian mathematician named Leonardo Fibonacci. Here's how it works. Start with 0 and 1. Then you just add the last two numbers to get the next one. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, and it goes on forever. This pattern is everywhere. The swirl of a hurricane, Fibonacci. The way flower petals spiral, Fibonacci. Even the shape of galaxies follows this sequence. That's why some call it the divine sequence. But what makes it fascinating is how it can be applied to gambling. Instead of betting blindly, each number in the sequence becomes your betting unit, and if you manage it properly, it turns roulette into a game of calculated risk instead of pure chance. Here's where almost everyone messes it up. They apply Fibonacci to even money bets like red, black, odd, even, or high-low. It looks safe. It feels like you've got a 50-50 shot. But let's play it out. You're at a $5 minimum table. Your bets go $5, $5, $10, $15, $25, $40. That's $100 lost after 6 straight misses. Now your next bet is $65. If you win, you get $65 back, but you're still down $35 overall. If you lose, you're $165 in the hole. This is the trap. On even bets, Fibonacci can't recover losses fast enough. Players think they've found a smart system, but in reality, they're bleeding out slowly. This is exactly why you don't want to just follow advice from random roulette gurus online. And it's also why I don't risk the system at shady casinos. The legit sites I trust, all listed on onlinecasinohub.org, actually give you table spreads and bonuses that let you push systems like this further, without hitting walls. So what's the fix? Simple. Apply Fibonacci to column or dozen bets. These pay 2 to 1. That payout difference changes everything. Let's run the same losing streak again. 5, 5, 10, 15, 25, $40, you're down $100. Next Fibonacci bet, $65. If that $65 hits a column bet, it pays $195. Subtract your $100 loss, and suddenly you're up $30. And it only gets better the deeper you go. With Martingale, no matter how long the streak, your profit is always the same tiny amount. With Fibonacci, the longer the streak, the bigger the profit when you finally hit. It flips losing streaks into setups for bigger wins. That's why I call this system the rubber band strategy. The longer it stretches, the harder it snaps back. Now let's get real. Every roulette table has limits. On a $5 minimum, the max might be $500. That means if your streak goes too long, you'll eventually hit the ceiling. To follow Fibonacci safely, you need a bankroll of about $1,160. That covers 10 straight losses, with your biggest single bet being $445. Here's the math. To actually lose this system, you'd need to drop 11 column bets in a row. The probability of that? About 1 in 75, which means 98.7% of the time you end up winning. Now think about it. If you sat down every night for 2 months, odds are you'd walk away ahead almost every single time. That's not luck. That's math. And that's why I only run this online now. Land-based casinos don't give me the table spreads I need, but the casinos at onlinecasinohub.org, they let me play this system properly. Bigger limits, smoother tables, and those welcome bonuses basically mean I'm playing with the casino's money to start with. Want to push it even further? Here's the advanced move. Don't just start betting right away. Watch the wheel first. If a column hasn't hit in the last 4 or 5 spins, that's your trigger. Why? Because now, for Fibonacci to fail, that column would need to miss for 16 straight spins. The odds of that happening, just 0.18%, that's about 1 in 555. This small adjustment shifts the odds massively in your favor. Suddenly, you're not just relying on the math, you're stacking probability on top of probability. Now here's the part nobody talks about, the psychology. Even with the best system in the world, most players still lose because they panic. They start with a $5 bet, but after 6 losses, they're looking at $65, then $105, then $170, and their brain short circuits. They lose their discipline, abandon the system, and the math never gets a chance to work. If you're going to use Fibonacci properly, you need 2 things: the bankroll to ride out losing streaks, the guts to stick with the math even when it gets uncomfortable. That's why I always recommend starting online with bonuses. If you're nervous about dropping your own cash, let the casino's welcome bonus cover your early spins. Again, you'll find the best of those at onlinecasinohub.org. It's how I got comfortable testing this without sweating every loss. So here's the bottom line: most players waste Fibonacci on even bets and end up broke. The smart play is using it on column or dozen bets. With a proper bankroll, your odds of coming out ahead jump to 98.7%. Add the streak watching method, and it's one of the most powerful risk-to-reward systems I've ever tested. Now, nothing in gambling is ever guaranteed, but if you're going to play, wouldn't you rather use math instead of blind luck? If you're ready to actually test this system out, don't risk it at some shady site that won't pay you. Head over to onlinecasinohub.org. I put together a list of casinos that actually let you play this system properly. Big limits, real bonuses, and fast payouts. I've made way more there than I ever did in my local casinos. And once you try them, you'll see exactly what I mean. Let me know in the comments. Would you try Fibonacci, or do you prefer Martingale? Share this with a friend who plays roulette, and don't forget to subscribe. I've got more strategies coming that can completely change the way you see the game.